Welcome to How to Fix Cars and Stuff. Today we're going to take a look at how to change the oil on your car. To change the oil on your car is quite a simple job and you can do it from home. To do the job you're going to need a ratchet and also a oil filter remover and something to drain your oil into. Now if you're working on flat ground and you've got to jack your car up, make sure you take all the safety precautions and use jack stands. For us, we're lucky enough to have a hoist here today. We're working on a 2007 Ford Ranger. So the first thing we're going to do, before you service the car, you want to run it for a while just to get the oil a little bit warm, helps it drain. And then we need the drain catcher. Ferg,
Here we go.
what do you recommend?
As in a 19mm socket
19mm socket. All right.
and a extendable ratchet.
Ferg loves his extendable ratchets.
Yeah, I do.
Anything extendable.
And here we go. And she's going to come.
This is the messy bit. You'll notice
Just
as
like
the
that
oil
tray.
slows down, you need to just make sure your tray is underneath it because it will change where it runs to.
And you can always have a little bevy while you are waiting for it to drain. Being a Friday.
Only one. Only one. So we'll let this drain. While we're letting that drain, if your oil filter is under the same area, you can probably do your oil filter at the same time if it's going to drip into your tray as well. So the oil filter on this one is just located up here.
There.
So we'll grab our filter wrench and take that off. In this particular case, our drain is not wide enough, so we'll just let the oil drain before we remove it. While you're waiting for your oil to drain, grab your sump plug and just have a look, see if it's got a washer on it. So this one in particular has got a copper washer on it. Your copper washer should just screw off and then you can fit a new washer. Make sure it's nice and clean. You don't want any contaminants on there that may cause a leak.
Absolutely.
So you can see here the oil has pretty much all drained out. So what you want to do is just give that a quick wipe with a rag, just the face of it, just to clean any contaminants off. And then you can screw your sump plug in. Now make sure you don't over tighten it. You really just need to nip these up. If you over tighten it too much, the worst thing you can do is strip the thread. We don't want that to happen.
And also damage the copper washer. And click.
All right, so there's our oil filter. So now it's time to change that. So just grab your filter wrench.
We put that on here. And then, there we go. Fortunately, it wasn't overly tight. Same again, Jason, isn't it? Just a little bit of oil going to come out.
The worst one of these is when they're vertical, aren't they? It's much better being horizontal.
We'll drain that off.
So we'll let that drain and then we'll fit the new one.
One of the most important things to look for, and it did happen with this one, is that the O-ring is with the filter and it's not. It's still stuck on the face of the oil filter housing and needs to be removed. So there she be. So that, if they get stuck on and you put another one on there, you're going to end up with a hell of an oil leak.
All right, Ferg, so we've got our new oil filter. What do we need to do to prepare that for fitment?
Take the plastic off. And then just put a bit of oil on the surface of the O-ring so it does up nicely onto the oil filter housing. There we go up. Back in there. And
Making sure
there we
don't cross
go.
thread it.
Yep.
So how tight does this need to be?
Just firm. I still use a filter tool because it just gives that bit of extra purchase, but really just a firm fitment like that. There we are.
We don't want to make it too hard the next time
No.
we get it off. Alright, so we've drained the oil and changed the filter. Now it's time to refill the engine with oil. So always check your manufacturer specifications to make sure you're using the correct oil. As I said, this is a 2007 Ford Ranger. What oil do we need for this one, Ferg?
We have checked up, and it's a semi-synthetic 10W40 oil. Pretty much a standard oil these days, so hence I got it in bulk drum. And
And
it takes 7 litres of oil.
that's with the filter?
With the filter, and you should always change the filter.
What if you're doing a periodic change in between the
You
filter?
shouldn't need to.
Okay.
Oils are that good these days, Jason, that they last 10,000 k's.
Alright.
And here, this
Good suggestion. So obviously you've got your oil cap on the top here. So this is where we're going to fill it up. Our dipstick is over there. So if you're using something that's got a good measurement, it's easy to get the right amount in.
Which I'm very fortunate to
If
have
not,
this.
check it along the way.
Yeah.
Yes, Ferg's lucky to have a nice little pump here. You can just set it to the required amount.
Three, 4, 5.
It's a bit like douche music, isn't it? You just need to pump it up a bit.
We're around 5. For a little engine, they do hold a lot of oil. That does give them a longer life between oil changes. But still, every 10,000 k's is ideal. What are we at there? 7. 7 and a bit.
Beautiful. So once you've got your recommended amount in, it's always a good idea just to check your dipstick. Just make sure that you haven't accidentally mismeasured before you start it. So whack your oil cap back on. Just grab your dipstick out, give her a quick clean with the rag.
My dipstick, how yours?
Excuse me. No. Alright, so checking your oil, you want to be between your two lines. This one's actually got an L and a H mark on it. So you should be a little bit over because we'll start the car shortly and that'll get some oil into the filter.
Fine.
And give it a run and then check it again. Alright, so we're about to start the car here and just keep an eye on the little oil light there once we start it. You'll notice it'll stay on for a little bit and you want to keep the engine running until that oil light goes out. There we go. So once that oil light's gone out, that means we've got oil pressure and we're all good to turn her off and check the oil again. Alright, so we've ran the engine and you can see on the dipstick here, it's still slightly below the full mark after running the car. So what we'll do here is we'll just top it up again to the fullest mark and then we'll check it again. Alright, so we've topped up the oil and you can see here that it is pretty much perfect right on that high spot. So that's exactly where we want to be. So that is oil change complete. That's all you need to do. Put the dipstick back in and away you go. Now just quickly, some people have asked, am I better to be slightly under or slightly over on my dipstick? What do you think, Ferg?
Slightly over would be better, especially with something like this old girl here. It's going to be more of an oil burner than not. So slightly over, but ideally, to be spot on the mark is going to be your best position to be.
Beautiful. All right, if you've got any questions, post below and we're happy to help you.